Hi guys, Mrs. Langless here. Last week we learned about how animals are made up of lines and shapes, just like everything else. We focused in on one animal in particular and we learned how to draw a fish. This is what our artwork is potentially going to look like when it is all finished and colored. Let's remember where we left off last week. So, here is my drawing of my fish, and I used an animal drawing sheet to create this. And what's really great about those is that they show you step by step how to make the animal, and it breaks it down into lines and shapes. We'll do more of those as the year goes on. All right, so here's my fish. He's all created, and remember, I also, after I drew the fish, I created the home for the fish, or the habitat. So this guy is underwater. There's some sand, a starfish, some rocks, some bubbles. Then once you've got it all finished and drawn, what I'd like you to do is to trace it with a black marker. So that was something that we worked on last week. Remember that tracing is different than coloring because you're simply following the same path that your lines made before, not coloring in. Okay? So what I'm noticing now that I want to talk about briefly is that if you are all done tracing with Sharpie, a good next step is to take care of any pencil lines that are left behind. So what I'm noticing is, if you take a look at my seaweed, do you see how I missed some of my lines? If that happens to you, go ahead and clean it up first by just erasing any of those pencil lines that you can still see. That way, when we add color, those lines won't show up. So just take a moment just to clean up your paper, get rid of any pencil lines that are left behind. All right, so let's say that I'm all finished with that now and it's ready to go. Here's one that I've already started working on coloring, but it's great for showing you what's next. So I'm going to show you a couple of coloring techniques using crayons that are really helpful for making your colors turn out fantastic. First, one of the things that I like to do is that I like to work one shape at a time. So instead of coloring the whole fish at once, I just pick certain parts of the fish to do instead. So I am going to use this color once again, this crayon for this fin right here. So one of the techniques that I like to show students is how to create a border around your shape. And this helps you to stay inside your lines. So just making a little outline or border of the color first. Now you've created a little barrier or a block so that you won't color outside. So now I can come through and color it in side to side until all the white is gone. Fantastic. All right, so another technique that I want to show you today, I actually did it in that one as well, is coloring in all one direction. So this makes your colors look really smooth and beautiful. So I'm going to do the same thing again where I create that border around my bottom fin here. And now that I've created it, I'm going to color in all the same direction. Sometimes if you create your coloring in all different directions, it can leave behind little spots of white. If you go in one direction, it's easier to fill in the whole area and the colors end up looking a lot smoother. All right, another thing to remember that I'm just noticing here is, if I press down hard with my crayon, I'm going to get a really, really bold color. If I press down lightly, look at how much lighter that color looks. Ooh, I actually like the way that that looks with it going from dark to light, so I think I'm going to leave it. That looks pretty cool. If you want to do that on your artwork, you certainly may. So there it's going dark to light. All right, now let's talk about the water and the sky. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to use a variety of different colors. So for example, I don't want to choose the same blue for my sky as I do the water. So I do a lot of color testing on the back of my artwork. Take a look. Here is where I have tried to figure out what colors I want to use. So for example, I know I want it to be a blue. I'm just not sure what one I want to use for the water. I have already decided to use a sky blue for the sky. Now I can just test out the different blues on the back of my paper until I find the one that I feel like will look best. This one's more of a blue-green. This one, a little bit darker, and then even darker here. This one's like more like a blue-violet. I think I like this one best, which is this one right here. So that's the one I'm going to use, and I'm going to color carefully all around my fish, even around the bubbles. Now that's something interesting to point out. I want to show you that. So if I scoot this over here, the bubbles, I want those to stay white. So watch what I can do. I can take my crayon around the bubble very carefully, and this is just a little guy here. That way, once again, I'm creating a little barrier, maybe like a fence. That way, no colors can get through when I'm coloring, and I won't have to get close. So I can continue coloring my water and not have to worry going inside my bubbles, because I want those to stay just white. All right, let's see. Another thing that you might want to think about is blending two colors together. So, for example, sometimes in water, you see actually multiple colors of blue. So when you blend colors, I'm going to get myself a nice little area right here. And this might even be a better thing to practice on the back, actually. Maybe that's a good idea. So if I have two different colors, let's try it right here. I kind of like this blue-violet color. Let's see if I can find it. I think it's this one. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, to blend, I actually color one color right over another. And it really makes the water look beautiful, and it makes it look more real at the same time. So I love that blending effect. Try it in your artwork if you'd like. All right. Now, continue coloring all the different shapes in your artwork until all the white is gone. I'm going to keep working on that to finish it. And I can't wait to see your finished pieces, all the beautiful coloring that you're going to do. So here's my finished fish, and I'm not sure you can see the bottom there. There we go. I hope you've enjoyed drawing this fish and coloring it as well. Next week, we're going to move on to a different animal drawing, and I can't wait to see what you guys came up with. So please upload your artwork to Seesaw or send it to me through email, and I hope you're all doing well. Take care, and I'll see you with the next art project.